Hello everyone, welcome back for more Neyyah. I have still not read any hint as of recording this. This is one day after the previous session. Hopefully it comes across on video that I'm quite stuck at this point, but I've still not read any hint. I did make a Steam discussion page, topic, asking. I described my whole situation and I asked for it. But as of recording, nobody has responded to that yet. So I still have a window of time where I could figure this out on my own. And basically, the way I'm going to do this is, if somebody responds to my post before I figure this out, then I'm just going to decide that is destiny, and it wasn't meant to be. So, basically, I had an interesting idea, and actually, before I, show what I'm thinking, I'm gonna go back to the mines and go back to the computer and just show. I'm just gonna explain my latest theory, because at work today I had a theory again of what I might be able to do. So let me explain my thinking here. At this point in the game, I am pretty sure that I am not missing any lace. I will say that pretty definitively. I do think that I could be missing a clue, or maybe I could be even just missing something that is said in a note. Maybe even a note that I've read, but I just haven't it hasn't fully clicked in my mind what it means, right? So, let me zoom into this again. So, the cameras. I'm going to try and focus on the transportation towers again, because now I have an actual reason to try and solve them. I know what it connects to. It connects to the logic tower, so this is now relevant again. The Neyyah, the lowering thing, I have no idea, I don't even know, right? That one I might still need a hint for at the end of the day. But I'm going to try and solve this. I'm going to try and solve the transportation towers. So here's the thing. I had a bit of an off-camera realization again, for the reason that this walkway camera exists, right? It's because it was for the activating the binoculars. Because the symbol to activate the binoculars, and actually I can show this too, if I just go one screen over to this one, right? The binoculars required this symbol of the dots, like this, right? And what I realized is this is a bird's eye view of the walkway, and this is the reason I had to turn those red crystals on. I didn't realize it at the time, right? But there's that one panel in the Scarlatti Towers where I can choose between crystals or walkway lights. And you need to choose crystals in order to get this symbol to appear on the camera, which is over top of that walkway, right? Like a bird's eye view. This is the symbol that it wants you to get. So I think literally that puzzle, because there's just two options, and you just have to try both and see which one is the correct one to activate the binoculars. And I just chose the crystals just first thing, right? It was just the first thing I tried. And so I didn't get to see that puzzle fail, and so I didn't really understand why I solved it. But that's the reason why. It's just because the red crystals, they're these inner dots, right, of this symbol, and the camera needs to see that to then register that symbol and send it off to the binoculars. I get it now. It makes sense. So, if I then go back to this computer here, if we look at the cameras, so this entire bottom row was for that one puzzle, right? It was for the binoculars. That makes me think that this top row contains all of the information for the one panel that's at the mines here that uses these symbols, and this row contains all of the information for the Minerva Point Tower, right? So we're not supposed to intermingle them, right? I think we can establish it as a ground rule that this is for this puzzle, and this second row is for the well, okay, they're both for the same puzzle, but I mean, this is for one tower, this top row is for one tower, and this middle row is for the other tower, right? And we're not supposed to mix and match information between them, so we're not supposed to take these middle row colors and pair them with these top row symbols, which was my initial interpretation when I only had seen the panel here, right? My next thought, and this is a thought I had at work today, and I don't know if I can prove this or not, if it's true or not. But so we know that the colors of the portals, the color scheme of like red for Falitsu Island, yellow for Mayans, green for Scarlidi, and blue for Minerva. That color scheme, that is a Fijaltan color scheme, right? They came up with that because if you look at in the temple on Minerva Point, there is a statue, a very Fijaltan looking statue, holding globes of those colors, and they are associated with the masks corresponding to each place. So the Fijaltans came up with this, portal color scheme, which makes sense, right? I am kind of wondering if these icons, the middle row icons here, so I get it now, right? There's an equivalence between these icons because the middle row icons are the Aluj icons for these places, right? I was wondering, why is there two redundant, sets of symbols, both corresponding to locations? But it's because Smollox wants to get away from using the Fijaltan icons, right? He doesn't want to use the Fijaltan icons anymore. So he created his own for each of the islands. So the middle row is the Aluj icons for these places. The top row here is the Fijaltan icons for these places. So I'm wondering if these Aluj icons have their own color associations, right? Because it is conceivable, if Smollox created these icons to be distinct from the Fijaltan icons, that he would also create his own color associations for them that are distinct from the Fijaltan ones, have nothing to do with the portal colors, right? It's possible, but where would I find that out, right? So basically, I had a couple ideas for where I might be able to draw a color association that is specifically Aluj colors and not Fijaltan colors. That would be, one, the Holtish servers, right? Maybe it's something about the Holtish servers reveal the Aluj colors for these places, because those are definitely an Aluj creation, right? They are not like a natural Fijaltan technology. The other possibility that I thought of is that it is Smollox's sort of icon. The one, it looks very Soviet, where it has like the circle in the background and it has a medallion with wings coming out either side. You see it all over the place here. I was wondering, and I hadn't been paying attention to this, if maybe the color of that, either the background or the thing in the center of the medallion, if it changes on a per place basis. Now, those things are on the cameras, but they are very distant if you're looking up at a camera to see it. So it's possible, even though I was trying to distinguish color on them, maybe they're just too far away or too faded there. And also, maybe it's possible that all the cameras were actually intended for one place, because they all have the Minerva Points icon on those cameras. So I'm thinking, just go around, go to the Holtish servers and see if I can, if there's any color information on those anywhere. And also go to each place and see if I can find like J technology find Small X's logo on them and see if there are different colors on that logo depending on what place I'm in. It would mean that I have to ignore the color information in these camera shots, which would be very sneaky, right? Like, it's a very sneaky red herring if the red herring is they include colors in these shots, but you're meant to ignore the colors, and you're just meant to use the icons and determine what the associated colors are with that icon, right? But maybe that's what you're supposed to do. I don't know. I also noticed that I hadn't really seen anybody else asking about this puzzle on the Steam discussion forums. They're all asking about puzzles that I've already solved, so I wasn't spoiled on anything when I went there to just briefly look. Which tells me maybe this puzzle is actually supposed to be quite easy, and I'm overthinking it. Or, maybe more realistically, by this point, most people have tapped out and decided to consult a walkthrough to just figure out the answer, just because they want to see what happens. But, yeah, you know, I made it here genuinely so far, and I really don't want to ask for a hint, is the thing. So, yeah. I'm thinking I might check this place over once more. Wow, how many people are going to see this specific shot looking up this angle? You only ever come out of this, room. It only bears relevance one time in the single game, I feel like. One single time in the game, I mean. So, like this room here, I guess there are notes here. I should probably reread these. It has been a while since I've read this. This is about the Pelska portal, which I already figured out. Man, it would be kind of evil to hide something in here that wasn't very obvious. Because how often do I come back to this room? Almost never. Let's see. This is about the Beta case? Okay. Yeah. Which, by the way, there's a screen about it here and also in the Banos computer system. And I believe it's the exact same text. When I really believe it could just be here. It's pretty obvious stuff. You know, you'll figure out how to use it instantly, like it's in your hotbar. Oh, so okay. I totally forgot about this sheet of paper. This makes so much sense. So these symbols are what they consider sectors. Okay, so when they say sectors, they actually are talking about the same places. They're talking about the islands, right? It's just, this is the J term for it, right? Like, if this sign were for Jalton, instead of Neyyah Site Sign 28, it would say Neyyah. It would say Neyyah Islands instead of Neyyah Site 28 sectors. And then, instead of, these sectors being here, they would write, like, they would write, like, Belitsu Island, and then they would write, Scarlidi Towers and all that. Right, and they would have the symbols that are like the Y symbols. If this were a Fjalton diagram, but this is an J diagram, and so they call these sectors, and these symbols mean sectors. Okay, that's kind of what I figured upstairs as well. I was just saying, right? There's a separation. Like these symbols are redundant because they come from the different cultures, right? And so they refer to the same things more or less. Oh, and that's why all of the cameras have the Nerpa points icon on it, because that is considered the quote-unquote camera sector. Even though the HQ lab is here, and that's what I associate with the cameras. Apparently, the camera sector is like the name of this place, so that's why they all have that icon on it. And there is like a camera watch building there. I guess that's just, you know, the one that that Smallocks would normally be using, right? Yeah, it's a little bit weird, but or is it that that's the camera sector because it's where you power the cameras? No, because that's Minerva Point. Scarlidi Towers would be where you power them, and of course that's the elevator sector. It's the only place that has those elevators that need to be powered by the crystals, the signals from them. I kind of want to write down the Alu-J names of these. I'm gonna get out a new sheet of paper. I'm gonna, you know, make a better diagram of the Alu-J names of all this stuff. So, let's see. Yeah, this is actually a really good thing I went down here, because this is a really good reminder. I had kind of figured out, you know, what all of these places are, what these symbols are, but I'm only just now clicking together that the sectors literally are just equivalent to the islands. It's just that it's the different cultures, symbols for each one, right? For, like, when I first encountered these symbols, it was in the fuse boxes, and so I immediately associated them just with being fuses, right? But they, in fact, are places. They're place symbols, just like the Fajal temples. The other thing I'm going to do, actually, while I'm here, is I'm going to go up here again. And I'm just going to literally copy what I see on this computer screen, because I had written them like vertically on my notes. But I want to write them like horizontally, the same orientation as is on here. So, I'm going to draw like a grid, basically. Okay. And the top screens, they do not have any useful color information, as far as I can tell. And the bottom row I'm just ignoring now, because I finished that puzzle. Okay. Okay. Alright. So, I am now going to go look at the Cultish servers and just see, do they have any colors associated with them? Because I want to kind of see if I can draw a connection where Alu-J technology has specific colors for these sectors, right? If the sectors have different colors than the islands, right? The portal colors, those are the colors of the islands, right? Do the sectors have a color association that is different from the islands? So, yeah, see, this is what I meant here as Smolex's logo. And it just seems to be kind of on a neutral gray background here. It's much bigger here, yeah. Yeah, and actually we can't really zoom on that, but it's bigger here. Yeah, we did this already. We put Neyyah here. Does this reveal, like, anything? This is just the sector that this is for. Which would be the, HQ lab sector, which checks out because we just came out of the mines, right? Yeah. Okay. So no real discernible color information here. Did the other ones look exactly the same? Yes, basically. Lit differently, but basically the same looking. This is, so this is like a turquoise color. Are they all that turquoise color? Hold on. Actually, does this tell me anything? Oh, wait. I can turn these on? I did not realize that. Oh, shoot. Is this on now? It is! Okay. Transportation tower is on hold. We can turn the Holtish servers on. Maybe that's because of the Lodvik tower connection. Now we can turn this on. Or maybe I just didn't notice that before. Okay, so turn them all on. Okay, I'm kind of glad that I did think to... It wasn't what I was planning on doing, but I'm glad that I thought to inspect these again. Because now I can enter the Trondi counts. I should be able to go back to the computer system and look at counts. And I'll have to remember to multiply the numbers, right? So this is probably going to give me a relatively small number that I'm going to have to multiply, and I will get a 2-digit number, right? And I have to multiply it based on the colors, and I suppose this will confirm if there is a different set of colors as well. Which now I'm leaning more towards no, there isn't. But of course, there could be Small X's icon could be different color in different places. I still haven't checked that, but I think it's probably just going to be that same neutral gray color everywhere. I'll have to check everywhere to see. Okay. Alright, that is something, which is better than nothing. It's not quite what I wanted, but let's see. So, console data. Holtish. Okay. Let's note these down. So, this one is 24. This one, 15. Alright. And I already know what to do with this. I have to multiply these. This one's 10. Yeah, see, these are all relatively small two-digit numbers, which is so sneaky. Because you have to multiply one of these by 4. And this one, 7. Okay. So, the note actually revealing what to multiply these by is right on the desk over there. I remember. I do remember this. No, it wasn't this one. It was, where's the note? I think it was here somewhere, right? Wait, where was that note that had the notepad attached to it? There. Oh. Right, this is just, typed out. So, this, right? I had written this down, but I might as well just calculate this out now that I'm here, right? So, let's just assume that it's the same colors that the Fajoltans would use for now. If this is wrong, then I know that there is a different color association that I'm just not aware of, right? So, 24. The red area would be Falitsu Island, or Arrival Sector. So that would be 24 times 4, right? The blue would be Minerva Point, or the camera sector. That would be 15 times 3. The green would be Scarlini Towers, or the elevator sector. So that would be 10 times 2. And the yellow would be the HQ lab sector, or the mines. That would be 7 times 1. Okay? Let's enter that into the panel. The panels on the walkway. I will actually need to calculate out what those are. But they're not particularly hard multiplications to do. 24 times 2 is 48. I believe 24 times 4 is 96, off the top of my head. 15 times 3, I think, would be 45. 10 times 2 is obviously 20, and 7 times 1 is obviously 7. So, let's just Pelska Portal are right there. I don't really think this saves that much time, actually, to be honest, but whatever. Okay. We're here. So, the Tron decals. Okay, so the left one here is 45. The right one here would be 7. Based on what I have written down, right, in my current understanding of the puzzle. This would be... wait, hold on. What were the symbols on the front of this again? Okay, arrival sector on the right. Okay, so this one would be 10 times 2, so 20. And this one on the right would be 96. Oh, right, I have to press the levers to confirm. That is right. Okay. Because they wouldn't stay down before, so I know I'm getting this right. Okay, Tron counts have been entered. Alright, what was it again that required me to enter the Tron counts? I believe it was in the center of the heater, there was something that wanted me to enter them. So let's go back there. Maybe I will yet find the colors. Yeah, it's cool. These are on now. Hold on. They have poles. Are the poles different colors for each one? No, they're all green. Okay, they just signal it's on. Alright. Okay. No, it was the other side, right, that had something that I wanted to do. Okay, hold on. Must be powered, Tron counts must be entered. Yep, both of those are required. I also have that satisfied. Yeah, I have the logic tower on. Alright. And power. I just got an achievement called Ignited. And yeah, it's on. Okay. We still have not lowered the Neyyah, but this is now powered on. So that is certainly important. I should probably now head back to the computer system and see what it reports, because there's a whole screen dedicated to this on the computer system. maybe something has changed in the Lodvik Tower, but it was requiring... It was just waiting for the transport information last I checked. Let's just quickly look to see if anything changed in here. This is on, yeah. So this had just said, yeah, awaiting signal transfer, which as of right now has not happened. Maybe this will somehow reveal the option to transfer those, and it's going to turn out I didn't need it to be right this entire time. Right, or I had it right the entire time. I mean, it just doesn't verify because you have to press a button somewhere else to transfer the codes, right? Maybe, possibly. Okay, let's go back to. I was actually right next to it. I went in a full circle. Back to the mines. Back to the lab to see in the computer system what has changed now. We basically enabled the heaters now. Which, you know, if our miniature is any indication, means that the spores will now come down. But I think that the Neyyah has to be lowered first because it has the spores on it. So, if we look at the status of this, what do we see now? Now, there's still foreign objects, supposedly, in the pool of the chambers, which I've not seen. Yeah, I can't see them just looking down there. These are active now, yeah. It's currently active. Now, should I... Everything tells me that this must be active. That's why I'm so hesitant to deactivate it. But should I? Because supposedly there's a foreign object in the pool. If I deactivate it, maybe I can flush that object out somehow. You know, or it's keeping that object in. But everything tells me I should not turn that off. So I've turned on the heaters, which feels very important, but I don't actually know what that's really done for me. But I guess let me head back to there and kind of look around there and maybe read the literature again to see what I should do. There is also this area down here. I think I finished with this area, but let me double check. Because at this point, I just have to revisit areas I've not been in a long time, right? So it's a very similar machine actually to the one in the Lodvik Tower. Yeah, and we put this in, and then a bunch of things zapped out of here, I remember that. And then a portal turned on. So this is probably... There's got to be another one of that type of portal, right? The like, super classified secret portals, right? This is, you know, when I do it in the Lodvik Tower, it's going to turn another one of those on. I don't know where, but somewhere, right? Probably a camera will show it, because it did for this. I just want to go back to the heater pools. I'm glad I made some kind of progress already. That's encouraging. But it does not solve my color problem. So let's see. We've turned this on now. Let's go back in here. Now, what are these foreign objects it says are in the pools? I don't really notice anything that looks out of place here. I mean, the water does look kind of mossy, but, you know, nothing really seems to be moving or anything. Oh, and actually, these pipes have colors. Hold on, are these the same colors as ever? Yeah, that's red for the arrival sector. That one on the other side has got to be Scarlini. Is that green? That's, hold on. Yeah, that's green for the Scarlini. This is blue, and that is camera sector, which is Minerva. This is definitely Ologerian. So, without a doubt, these are the colors. The Fajaltans and the Ologerians, they agree on the colors, right? The colors are the colors of the portals. So I'm really starting to think that maybe I just, like, I can't have entered it wrong, right? But let me, you know, like, this is like a quadruple check at this point, but, you know, I should check on those transportation towers and see that I put them exactly how I think they should be, right? The easiest one to access is here. So yeah, that basically deconfirms my idea that there's a different color set for the Ology icons. No, they're the same colors. Same colors for both. This... And I'm really starting to think that there is just somewhere I have to go that I have to, like, separately press a button to like, actually make this do a thing, right? So yeah, I mean... Scarlini would be green. This is, Mines, which would be yellow. This would be Fleetsu, which is red, if there were, you know, the option. And this is indeed Minerva Point, which would be blue. This all checks out to me. Like, I can't think of it being anything else, right? But man, it really throws me, like, if I am in fact meant to go somewhere else to actually transfer that signal, or whatever, then it's really throwing me. I haven't seen where that is. I would think it would be in the logic tower, right? Because it says awaiting, you know, signal. So then the other place would be, oh, I have to use the Palspa portal to get there. Or did I change that back from the Spore Docks? I probably should at this point. I think I've done what I need to do there. Yeah. I'm just gonna change that back to go to Minerva Point. I've done what I need to do at the Spore Docks. I'm pretty sure... Oh, actually, no, hold on. There's a panel in the Spore Docks, isn't there? Did that panel require the heaters to be on? See, now I question everything, because anything could have changed now that the heaters are on. That feels like a really big step, right? portal here is off, though. Okay. That's what that's actually waiting for. And this, I don't believe we can turn on from here. So, yeah, we probably are actually done here. I am thinking we are done here, and we can safely turn this back to Minerva Point, which is what I more often want to get to now. So let me do that. Whoops, I didn't mean to go this way. Yeah, and it makes sense too that now that they call this camera sector, right? Yeah, it's additional confirmation that is the camera sector, supposedly. I mean, it's neither where they are powered nor where they are viewed, but apparently that's the camera sector. I mean, you can view them there, it's just not the main viewer for them that I use. They're not powered there. Now, why did I want to go to Minerva Point again? Oh, right. To make sure the transportation tower had the code that I wanted entered correctly. Why is this the camera sector? I mean, aside from having a dedicated tower for the cameras, sure. But it's not even the main place that I would view them from. So if I look here, so the order I wrote down is this, that, and that. Yeah, that's the right order. And then the colors are green, red, yellow, blue, which is indeed what I have here as well. Again, everything leads me into believing this is the right solution. So maybe there is just somewhere else that I have to transfer these codes that I have not seen. I just don't feel like I'm missing locations, that's all. But maybe there is a computer panel that was previously just kind of inactive, and now it actually does something, you know? Maybe. Is there anything else out here to see? Anything to be seen here? Obviously, there's the vault cabinet here. I found that. That is for the Lodvik Tower puzzle that I will surely, be able to interact with once the transportation towers are locked and loaded. I just haven't figured out how to actually, deal with them. These guys make kind of a weird sound. I wonder what is causing them to make this sound. You can hear it, right? It's a high-pitched... It's very background noise, but it sounds like gears turning and there's a high-pitched sort of beeping. Unless it's this camera here, actually. It might be. Yeah, which... Yeah, this seems to be the most likely thing making this noise. And this cannot be interacted with at all, it's just a camera. What does this say? House guy. Does this side say anything on it? No. It's just the rest of the island, right? Yeah, I'm convinced this is where the game will end. This is just a boarded up room. Nothing particularly interesting going on in here. Yeah, there's this guy. This still feels like end of the game material. Because what? I can't interact with any of these, I don't think I used this panel previously. And this doesn't really tell me anything or convey anything to me, because these are all like the same color, they're all the same shape, they don't look like numbers. So I don't get anything from this, really. I think this is literally just a panel I'm going to have to use at the end of the game. It's probably explained in the old factory how to use it in the thing that I cannot access right now, explaining how small it's to be trapped. That is the Pelska activation. I used that already. Bunch of broken down old junk. And then there's this up here, which almost feels like a hint, but I don't know what hint to take from it. Like, this camera view feels like it is meant to tell me something. Oh, is this a portal? Wait, is this a portal that this thing is growing out of? Because I can't tell if this is water or if this is like the portal texture. It kind of looks like the portal texture, doesn't it? But I cannot, jump in here, and stuff floats on here, which isn't usually true of portals, right? It floats on this like things float on water. Yeah, is this meant to tell me something important? Because I'm not getting it if it is. I'm just staring at this, trying to, like, get information out of it. But it's just a bunch of branches. Okay. Alright, let's get out of here. Where do I want to go? Well, there's definitely nothing to do with Scarlidi, is there? The only thing there is point A. And I still haven't figured out what to do at point A. Like, I haven't pieced together what I'm meant to do there. This is where I currently am, and I feel like I'm done here. We've been to the mines plenty. Let's go to Falitsu Island, I guess. What else is there to do at Falitsu Island that I have not already done? Also, yeah, the Smolux icon theory is basically disproven. They're all on the same neutral gray background, no matter where I am. So I did, figure out how to turn on the heater, which is quite exciting. But for the heater to actually have something to heat, I need to lower the Neyyah. That's another dead-end puzzle for me right now that I can't figure out. So, well, maybe the Neyyah requires maybe it requires the heater chamber to be on before it can be lowered. I don't know. This area off to my left, I think I am completely done in. This is just the salt machine. Which, I already got salt from this. So there's nothing to do with this. And this, as far as I remember, I cannot even mess with anymore. Yeah. It would kind of be bad to be able to turn it off, so best not to turn it off. I did also think the transport towers, maybe the color code could actually come from a Jalude, because they're transportation towers, right? These Jaludes have color codes on them. The thing is, I only have the one. Just this one. I don't have another one with a different color code. And I need 2 sets of colors. So that would, if there were any... wasn't this red before? Hold on, wasn't this, colored before? And now it's the cap is on this closed. Does that mean something? The one at Minerva Point is still red. This was definitely red before, right? I can't be misremembering that. I remember it distinctly. So, do I actually... I can't have this wrong, though. Like, it's already been transferred to the binoculars. This was for the binocular puzzle, and I already figured this out. Hold on. Wait a minute. So is it suggesting that this is correct and the other one isn't? Because the other one is red still. Isn't it? Didn't I just see it and it was colored red? Why is this one no longer red? Hold on a moment. Did I get that wrong? Did I get the solution to that wrong? Is it not like, I thought it was transferred to the binoculars, so it had to be right, right? I thought it wouldn't even let me mess with that anymore. I thought this was just for the binoculars. This one's red. So this is wrong? We can only move it down. It's still red. Still red. Huh. Why is the other one not red? It was at one point in time red. Is this just a bug? I mean, I highly doubt it. They would have rendered out 2 shots for both places, right? I can't see how it would be a bug. Oh, I can look 90 degrees here. It's not very useful. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. I'm going to choose to ignore that because I think I've already done that puzzle. I feel like I'm already done with that. I don't know what it would possibly affect if I got it quote-unquote right now. Huh. Okay. Maybe that changed in an update? They changed the color of this? Why would they, though? This was just for the microphone thing. I think this tower is only going to indicate that it is recording the microphones, and that's all this is for. Uh-huh. That was it. Okay. This area I explored extensively. There's definitely nothing that can be done here. Absolutely not. Nothing. Not a single thing can be done here. Actually, let me go back to the Lavandis zone. Maybe there's stuff to do there yet. Kind of doubt it, but, you know, just check. Now to do that will require switching this guy here. Okay. Back in the Levandi zone. I believe I saw everything here that is to be seen. Yeah, that's all that's there, basically. That's just an active point. Yeah, this camera view is specifically meant to show you that there is a microphone signal being emitted there, right? And that connects with the other tower. This is where we have that stupid door that's completely illogical. The security door. Which we opened. Yeah, we turned all these on. Nothing else to be done here, really. Is there a reason to close this from this side? I mean, it shows us the serial number on this side. If we press this button again, does it do anything? No. Yeah, that was the combo we had to put in here to open it. Which is really dumb, because why would it be the serial number? But, you know. Of course, you can't see that from the other side, which is the entire point. That's why it's a puzzle at all. Yeah, for a moment I thought this game was going to pull something where there was some super secret information on the back of the door that we need to know. But no, you can just close it to view the serial number of the door, which you have to enter to get in anyway, so you have to know what it is, but... This is to the Veltron machine. Yeah, we've been in that area. We know it. We've already pulled the one lever here of importance. Well, at least I saw one new screen, even though it didn't tell me anything important.